with your ghost hunting hosts, me, Jacob, and Michaela.
Hello.
Hiya. So, what we've decided to do is podcasts in between our ghost hunts just to fill the gap because it takes so long to prep for a hunt and get locations and go out and do stuff like that. So, we're just going to talk a little bit about the kind of work that goes into it and our personal experiences, how we got together, how we got into it, to see if it's something that you guys might want to get into, anybody that's listening, and how to go about it. Also, we're going to be talking about what's coming up for the channel in the future and just give you an idea of what you can expect. So, hello, Michaela.
Hello. Are you all right?
Yeah, not bad.
Good.
Well then, do you want to talk about a bit of like how we got together? How we started the ghost hunting team?
Yeah. Some years ago now, it would have been. Well, we first met in September 2018 when we both went on the same course at UCLan on the continued drama production. And I don't know, we just sort of like became friends, realised that we had quite a lot in common, realised that we're both into horrors. And it sort of just like went from there. And then we started talking about the paranormal, like we had an idea for an assignment that we were going to go to a haunted location and do a paranormal investigation. And from there, it never really left us. Even though we were doing other things, we still came back to the paranormal.
Was it actually the ghost hunting that was it the horror that got us talking about the ghost? It was the ghost hunting project, wasn't it, that got us onto it?
Yeah, but I think we were like sort of like bonding because we realised that we liked a lot of the same horror films, like American Horror Story and stuff like that. And then obviously we got this assignment and we thought, well, what can we do? What's a bit different compared to what everybody else is doing? And so we came up with, why not do a paranormal investigation? And it sort of went from there.
Well, all we've been doing, because it's drama production, it was all drama. So we obviously, because we were doing so much of that, I think it was like natural to want to do something else on our. It was a TV course, wasn't it? So it was coming up with a TV show.
We wanted to do something different and not what we're used to. I think we really wanted to push ourselves out of that box of being TV and going out of our comfort zones, because I didn't know what to expect going into the paranormal investigation. Like I've watched the shows, watched Most Haunted, watched Ghost Adventures, and there's parts of you where you say, well, is that real or are they faking it? And it's not until you go into that situation and stuff's happening to you, you realise, oh, okay, there's something more to it. There's something more than what we actually know. And
it took a while for us, well, for me anyway, to actually get something, well, which felt definitive. It took 3 times, so we did 3 investigations. Obviously, the 3rd episode's not out yet, but it will be coming out soon. But yeah, the first 2, obviously, we're in the middle of the woods, the second one. So it was it wasn't as intimate, I'd say, as like the Robin Hood experience, because we're in Sherwood, because it was all to do with Nottingham. But the galleries was massive as well. So I did a bang when we were there, and the growl through the earphones that actually was a bit weird. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, for the gallery,
you can't really hear it on the
growl. I mean, for the galleries, like you said, it's massive. There's so many different rooms. There's courtrooms. There's the cells. There's the women's part. There's the outside. There's a cave. And I think because it was our first one, we thought we didn't have enough time, so we wasn't spending enough time in each location because we thought we were running out of time. But there wasn't anything there what like made me think, oh yes, the paranormal is real and stuff like that. I mean, I did have some experiences while I was there, like when we were in that the Moore's room and I had headphones on, I had that deep voice come through. That did shake me up a little bit, because it was quite a deep voice and it sounded almost demonic in a sense. And
well, that was where I heard the growl through the headphones as well.
But it wasn't until later on when we went back and started to edit the episode and look at the footage that you picked up a lot more than what you could hear yourselves.
Yeah, there was a stone thrown as well, but we didn't notice that until the footage when we were going down to the caves.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I didn't hear that when we was there, and it's really loud. I can't believe we didn't hear it because we weren't really talking either. But for us not to pick that up, and it's same when we were in the caves and them footsteps, they're so loud. But I can't say we heard them at the time. I mean, I heard footsteps later on, but not at that time where there was like, it almost felt like there was a woman with heels and she was clonking her feet down, letting us know she was there.
Everything seemed so distant in the galleries, though. Like all the noises seemed like they were far away when they were like they were actually being picked up a bit closer. So it's kind of weird. Like we've not seen anything yet, which I'm dying for. To at least capture something on the camera so we can review it later. That'll be massive.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's took us a long time to get us up and running because we had COVID in the middle of when we were starting up. Like we had the galleries booked when COVID were first hitting, so we had to put that. We had to cancel that and had to do it a year later. So we would have been a lot more further ahead if COVID.
Yeah, do you want to talk about getting like stuff ready for like doing an actual like? Let's talk about the galleries. Obviously, you have saying like we booked it when we were coming out of uni, so we had something to do to carry on filming.
Yeah, I think because obviously, like I said, COVID hit, we couldn't actually go back into uni and physically film everything. We had to do everything online, and I think we were getting to the point now where it was like, well, the course is nearly finished. What are we going to do? Because it is hard to get into that industry. It's really hard. So we decided, like the paranormal idea never really left me, even though we couldn't do it at uni. It never really left me. I've always been interested in it, and I think from there, I just started doing research and looked at some of the most haunted places in the UK, and I was surprised that there was quite a few in Nottinghamshire, where I'm based. So I thought, well, maybe I knew for our first one, I wanted to go somewhere what was well known, what people knew was haunted. And I do think the galleries fit that.
The galleries is a big one.
The galleries is a big one. And
Taps have done that.
Yeah, Taps, yeah. Most Haunted's done it as well, I believe.
Yeah, they said, yeah.
And I can remember like researching it, and it's just sounded like really interesting place, not just because of the paranormal, but of the history of the place as well, where they had hangings. There's some of the worst prisoners there, and but before we could even like go to the location, we had to establish ourselves. We had to come up with a name. We didn't want just Michaela and Jacob, the paranormal team. We did go through what we could call ourselves, and in the end we did come up with Ghost Operational Alert Team, GOAT for short.
GOAT. Yeah, and then you got the majority of the ghost hunting equipment together.
Yeah,
we already had our own cameras.
Yeah, we had our own cameras, so we didn't have to like go out and buy cameras. But like to begin with, I didn't even know where to start for this paranormal equipment.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to know what we film on, we use Sony A7 IIIs and just the basic kit lenses mostly, and 150mm lens. But you really need wider lenses.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit wider. But apart from that, like it's easy. Like I want to go on one where we're not filming, so we don't have to concentrate, because it's hard to focus on the production when you're shitting yourself. Because it wasn't even the galleries, because it was the first one, but not a lot. Like it didn't seem like a lot happened. It was still nerve-wracking because there was just the two of us and the security guard, who was literally a woman who was just sat on the front desk. And we were like,
I mean, I completely get where you come from. It would actually be nice where we're not the ones what holding the cameras. Like we're just doing it ourselves and just really like being in the moment and not thinking about, oh well, I've got to tell the audience this has just happened. I've got to
Yeah, that's what we need to get
happened
better at.
instead of,
Definitely need to get better at presenting. But you can.
it's coming.
I think you can see it's getting better. You've got you start doing voiceovers and you did the voiceover in the last one, didn't you? So hopefully that'll explain.
That will carry on now, and yeah, I mean, for me, when I got excited was the first time we walked around the galleries.
Yeah.
And we saw like the place and stuff, and
yeah, when the woman gives us a tour of the place.
Yeah, and she
that was good.
She had some like personal experience as well. Like she says that she's felt her hair being tugged. She said that her dad was down there recording something, and the tripod just fell out of nowhere.
Yeah.
If you can remember.
Yeah, because her dad was the photographer for the place, so I was doing some photography, and the lens cap flew off.
And she said it was she always felt funny when she was in the women's, and for us that's where we felt it the most as well. There was something strange in the women's. It felt heavy to me.
Obviously the worst for me was the bit where we heard the growl and all that.
Yeah,
that did. The caves didn't feel that as bad as I thought it was going to do.
No, I was dreading the caves because when we went to have a look round the year before we went and did it, I didn't like it down there. I felt uneasy, but as we went and did the investigation down there, I felt fine.
Yeah.
It didn't freak me out at all. It wasn't until the Moore's room what freaked me out. I think it's because it's mirrors. So you were seeing shadows all the time, and it just sometimes your mind does play tricks on you.
So, to change the topic a little bit from the stuff that people might have already seen. So have you got any like personal experiences before any of this? Like, what might have made you start to believe, or at least because
There's nothing personally has ever happened to me to think, do you know what? Yeah, there's something not right. But there is strange things what happens in my house, which I can't explain sometimes. Like many times when I'm in bed, I can smell a perfume, a woman's perfume, and it's really strong, sickly perfume, like the sort of perfume what your gran would wear, like that really sicky. And occasionally I have felt like somebody like sitting on the bottom of my bed. But sometimes when you're asleep, when you in and out, is your mind playing tricks on you? But I have found out since then that apparently there is a woman. What is it? Which makes sense because sometimes you can hear her humming as well. And
that didn't let you think that that it might be haunted. I would have heard humming in the house.
I don't know because I don't know because if it is haunted, then I don't feel there's anything negative in it. I think it's probably a woman what's probably been here before the house was built. I don't think she means any harm and stuff. But mostly it happens mostly to my mum. She seems to
when I was at yours, obviously this is just before we were going to do the Robin Hood as well. The your curtain thing.
Yeah, in my room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It popped out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have happened. It's one of the ones that like stick in. Like
I don't know how that came.
No, that just flew off while we were getting ready, which is a bit strange. Like that.
Yeah.
The one thing I am scared of is if stuff starts following us back, and then we actually start getting haunted. That's happened to.
Yeah, I mean, there's
a
little cabinet what we've got in our hallway, and the door just like slowly opened, and me and my mum was like just stood there. We're like, well, why is it open? Was it not passing correctly? And we must have spent like a good 10-15 minutes trying to debunk it, like trying to put the latch so it wasn't fully on to see if it like come out as it did, and it didn't. It almost felt like somebody had like turned the cap and.
Yeah.
And it's funny really because there's been a time where we've heard footsteps and thought my mum's gone into the kitchen to turn off the tumble dryer. And my mum says, oh, can you bring me the washing? I'm like, well, you're in there, aren't you? You just turned the tumble dryer off. And she's like, no, I thought it was you. It is strange. What about
I've never never had any. The weirdest one I got was when I was exploring Denby Mental Asylum before it burnt down again. It was just an abandoned building, but apparently most haunted was there. I didn't know. We were going urban exploring. We weren't doing it to like ghost hunters or anything. But there was a hospital. There was a building on its own, which was a ward, and it used to have 3 levels, just 3 wards, and all the buildings were like all the windows were smashed out. It was completely empty, completely stripped bare on its own. And the first level and the third level were like fine, but the second level stunk a hospital as if there was still something like there. It was just a smell. That and a noise that me and my mate Craig heard as well. We were in the courtyard. It was getting night, and we were just about to go in like deeper to explore. And honest to God, there was dragging or something behind us. That scared me, but that wasn't like but that wasn't anything that like like I could really definitively say it was a haunt, and it's just like strange things. The only other thing before that was my dad's story, which is about a horrible old woman that lived at the end of his street, and him and his friends nicknamed Witchy Poo. Obviously, she's just an old woman. She used to they used to play footy next to a wall, and sometimes the ball used to go over, and she used to come over screaming when they used to hop over for the ball. And that's how she got the nickname Witchy Poo, because she wasn't very nice. She used to put a knife in the ball and all that stuff, and just kick off at them. So anyway, him and my dad's mate and my dad are playing footy, and the ball goes over, so they hop over to go and grab the ball again, and Witchy Poo comes out screaming, so they're like, "Oh, quick, get the ball, come on, jump over." Yeah. So they do, and then an hour later, they kick the ball over again, so it's like, "Oh, let's just not this time. I don't want to, get shouted at again." So they go and knock on the door, and the daughter answers and was like, "Oh, can we have the ball back, please? Your mum just come out shouting at us." So we thought it was not this time, and she said, "Oh, my mum hasn't, because she's been dead 2 weeks." And my dad is very skeptical about everything. He doesn't believe in anything. He thinks it's all bollocks. But if you ask him about it, he just says, "Well, yeah, I can't."
But there's also a darkness to it. You're opening something called what you don't understand. You're opening a gate up, and are you inviting something negative into your life? What could mess with you?
Yeah, because I thought about I've been thinking about, because obviously when we started, you probably were more eager to believe more than me, I'd say, because even Adam said, the owner of the Robin Hood experience, he said, "Oh, I thought somebody was a bit more sceptical on about me when the first went in." But I do think that you need to tune yourself into it, and you actually need to try to believe and actually give it a go, because if you don't, then nothing's going to happen, because you're not trying. I could tell with the difference when we did your documentary, your module with the skeptics and that, you could see stuff happening with Shree, because he was actually giving it a go.
Yeah.
And the others, like Nick, nothing was happening to him, and you could tell he was just not tuning in. Like you said, sometimes I open myself up somehow without realizing it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you've got to go in there. You've got to give it a go, because if you're not going to go in there and give it a go, what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
You've got.
You have to stress this enough as well. If you go, you need to go on more than one.
Yeah.
Because you need to go. If you're going to give it a go, go on a handful. Go right. So I'll go on 10.
Yeah.
Then I'll make my mind up. Don't just go on one ghost hunt and say, "Oh, nothing happened." That's it.
No, because just because nothing happens to you on that investigation doesn't mean it's not going to happen to you on another investigation. Sometimes it all depends what the location is. Like, as you've said, the first time when we went to the Robin Hood experience, we experienced a lot of activity. But when we returned in April with the skeptics, we didn't get as much.
We did go back with new equipment though. We went back with the cat balls, and the EMF went off as well at the same time. Cat ball.
Yeah.
That was quite definitive, really.
That was really interesting to see you lads down there and seeing the EMF meter going off and then the ball. But then I don't know, you sort of taught yourself out, thinking,
Yeah,
this is not paranormal. This is us moving. We're setting off the ball, even though you know that you
yeah,
can't touch the ball for it to come on. And with the EMF meter, that's got to be touched as well. So I think something was definitely down there with you. But I think because
yeah.
you
To go off at the same time as well.
But I think because you talked yourself out of it, it moved on.
Yeah, it's easy to be. Well, I was with two skeptics as well. Like Nick was the one that wanted to move the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, when we was filming, well, we're not even filming the documentary. When we was getting ready, I was starting to hear stuff, and I thought, do you know what? We're going to be in for a good time.
Oh, I did. That's why I was
Hear it
nervous.
starting up again. I thought, do you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
could.
It's gonna be messing
I
with
could
me.
hear stuff in the back
Yeah.
back room of the Robin Hood experience. I could hear the noises like going.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
And
no.
then when we split up to do the first investigations, and we all took a skeptic each, like you took Nick and Cherie down to the cave.
Yeah.
I was with Ali in the fried tuck room, and Amelia took Praise. When me and Ali had finished, we went back into the base room, and I knew Amelia and Praise had gone into Ern's room, and I know you lot was still down there, but I could hear it moving, running up and down the stairs.
I could hear running up and down the stairs.
Up, and you're like, "Can you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah, they're running up and down the stairs."
And nobody believed us. It was like we were crazy, but because we were there, like
they were like, "It's Amelia and Praise." I'm like, "It's not Amelia and Praise because I've just gone into Ern's room."
Yeah.
And they're in there, so it's not them.
Yeah, it's because we went like with a smaller group of people, so we kind of knew.
Yeah.
We knew beforehand what it could have been like, but it was less scary with more people.
Yeah.
It was absolutely terrifying when it was just me, you, and Eddie.
It's a creepy place though, because you've got them.
I mean that was the first time I've ever experienced a proper real haunting.
Yeah.
Like a one where the house was vibrating and the rafters were going.
I must admit, like when I was researching all the different places in Nottingham, the Robin Hood experience was the one I was most looking forward to, and I just couldn't wait to get in there. And as we went and we spoke to Adam, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. We've got a podcast." I was like, "Yes, this is going to be so good." But when we first started and nothing was happening, I thought,
"Yeah,
it's going to be."
We eating the Mackies as well when all that kicked off.
Yeah, it was going to be a boring night. But when we went into the base room and we were just relaxing, having a chat, eating as you said, and having a laugh, it started up, and
yeah.
I almost felt like I was in a horror film. Like,
I did. Yeah.
Like it was
It didn't help with what he was saying.
It almost
it's coming. It's coming. And it's like, what do you mean it's coming? Well, my head was like battered enough with just what was going on. I didn't want to picture what I was about to see either. And Aiden's like, it's coming.
Yeah, it almost felt like.
And then obviously I went.
Yeah.
And then obviously you were just like picking up the camera. It was just all over the show.
Yeah.
But I could not run towards that.
No, I almost felt like I was in the Antiville horror in the house.
I felt like it already ran past me anyway.
Yeah. And to be fair, when it was first happening, like I knew this sounds stupid. I knew we were on a paranormal investigation, but that's not what went into my head. I thought somebody were breaking in. I thought, Jesus, we're in the city of Nottingham. They can see the till out on display. The shutters are not down. Somebody's trying to break in.
If they were breaking in, through the roof because I could hear it above us. Yeah, I could hear it running down, and then.
Yeah, you were the closest.
Yeah, it was not nice.
To the door and stuff, and I could see you like getting more and more freaked out. But you still managed to like edge closer to the door,
to the exit.
Yes, to the exit. And I was like walking backwards because I thought if something's going to push you, you're going to fall into me. And because at one point I thought somebody was going to physically come and push you.
It's going to have to be a big old poltergeist to move me.
Yeah. But even when all that was happening, and
I actually thought it was going to run into me though. It sounded like it must have ran past, or it must have. I don't know.
I think Adam was right.
No, it must have ran down and ran back up because that's when you heard the furniture being moved. So if it ran down you went up and then you was like, oh my God, after you heard the furniture. So it must have ran down, got to where we were, and then ran back up.
Yeah.
And then moved the furniture.
I mean,
that wasn't
even
moved
with
because
that,
we checked.
Yeah, I mean, even with that, because obviously I had the headphones on, so I could hear it even more intense than what you guys could. And I could hear it. I could hear it like opening the door, slamming the door, and then I could hear it furniture getting dragged. But it's a carpet, so how do you get the sound of something being dragged? But you could hear. You can hear it on the footage. It's clear.
I heard that in real time as well. Like I could hear that without even the headphones. Like
Yeah.
That's why I started running down the stairs.
Yeah,
but it was checked downstairs as well because there was noises coming downstairs as well.
Yeah,
it was coming from all over. It was weird.
I feel like it started from the basement and it came up and it was messing around. It's like Adam said, it will mess with you, it will play tricks with you, and that's what we're doing.
So
and I think we wasn't paying attention to it. It didn't like it, so it's like, do you know what? I'll show you.
Yeah, this is the poltergeist at the Robin Hood Experience called Cedric, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the one that has had a poltergeist, and we've only been to one that's supposedly had a poltergeist. Yeah, galleries are supposed to be haunted, but to be fair, if there's storm throwings, there could be a poltergeist there. But
yeah, definitely,
yeah. But Sherwood, there wasn't. There was just kind of communication through the equipment.
Yeah, I mean, with Sherwood, I hated being in
the voices and stuff as well. Hello.
Yeah. I mean, with Sherwood, I hated it.
Yeah, the environment of just the forest is not very nice.
It wasn't even the paranormal. It's the fact of being in the forest, and I was so scared that if we all got too scared and we run off into different directions and we got lost, that was my biggest fear of us splitting up and getting lost. It wasn't even the paranormal, but there is a strange thing with Sherwood Forest, though, because we were filming EVPs throughout that investigation. And then when we went to the Major Oak, we filmed quite a long EVP session there. And then as we got home, all the EVPs have been corrupted.
Yeah.
It was, apart from the last one, what we made as we were walking back to the car, that one was fine.
Yeah, you even played one back on camera.
Yeah, I even played like the couple back, so I knew there was there because there's a bit in the Sherwood where I feel something touch my act, and you can see me turn, and you can hear the footsteps, and I can remember listening back to the EVP, and I could hear something on there, and I was like, I'm going to check that when I get home. But for some reason, they were gone. And a funny story, what I've only just found out because I actually listened to the EVP recorder, when we was filming the documentary in April, and we were doing a big final investigation, all of us together, the ghost hunters and the skeptics.
Yeah.
And we were in the sheriff room. I put the EVP recorder on his desk, and I recorded a long EVP session in there.
Yeah.
And I checked it the other day. It's got corrupted. And I remember what Adam said, that somebody came in, filmed in that room.
Yeah.
Got corrupted.
Is that the sheriff?
That's the sheriff, yeah. We've got everything else. We've got all the other EVPs, what we did. But I laid that on the desk, so it was just recording whatever it could pick up while we just talked among ourselves. And I was looking forward to listening back to that one. And the file is there, but it not play.
Was that when the spirit box told us to go to Pontefract? Was it?
Yeah.
So if anybody doesn't know what Pontefract is, there's a house there called the Black Monk House, which is supposed to be like one of the most haunted houses in Britain. Yeah,
it's 30 East Drive, I believe. That's the address.
Pontefract is the town.
Yeah, and it's apparently where this black monk haunts it because apparently he killed a young girl. And then people killed him and they threw him down the well, and in the living room of the house, that's where the well is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where the well is, in the living room. So you're standing on top of the well, and that's where they threw him down. And they reckon that is him who owns the place, and they call him Fred, but apparently he is the most violent poltergeist in the UK. But apparently, that is scary, and for us to be not even nowhere near Pontefract. We were in Nottingham. And for something to come through on the spirit box to say Pontefract, you need to go to Pontefract. It's like, oh, okay. Is there a gateway where spirits can come from different locations and communicate to you? And I think what freaked me out was that earlier in the evening, me and Amelia were talking about Pontefract. So it was almost like it was listening to our conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to think that there's like a portal that kind of you maybe connects them, or like spirits want you to go there, they can just, tell each other if that's what it is, or demons or whatnot.
I mean, because me and you both heard that clear, didn't we? We both went to each other. Did that just say Pontefract? And we're like, yeah, it just said
Yeah,
Pontefract.
I heard it straight away. Yeah,
I heard it, and it was like surreal because it's like, well, that's the most random thing that something could come out with, because we know that the spirit box is hit and miss because it goes through radio stations, unless there was a radio station talking about Pontefract and it happened to come through. I don't know, but as I watch the footage more and I say, oh, why do you want us to go to Pontefract? What will happen? And you just get this nasty voice, demonic voice, what says, you'll see. Well, what does that mean?
well, we'll have to go and find out.
What does it mean? Why do you want us to go?
Yeah, we'll have to go. Hopefully we can record something. Hopefully get the figure that's supposed to haunt at the top of the house.
Yeah.
At the top of the stairs. Maybe we can set a camera up, point it there. Yeah, so that's what's coming. That's coming in future is to the channel. Is we're looking to do obviously some of the major locations, the big ones that are in the UK. So Pontefract, Penhill, Ramin in Wales, things like that. But we're going to try and do like lesser known to do mini series like we did with Nottingham. So it was Haunted Nottingham. So we'll try and do like Haunted Liverpool, which is closest to where I live, or maybe just do like the county, so do like Cheshire or Lincolnshire, somewhere like that. Lancaster.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd like to do like a village, what's haunted, what's known to be haunted.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be something different. We're on about doing a pub, but we know it's haunted in Preston.
Yeah,
that might be interesting because apparently that's got a poltergeist there as well. We seem to be picking the places what got poltergeists, and I don't know how I feel about that.
well, it's haunted, isn't it? That's
yeah,
what haunted
I
is.
think as long as the location's got a basement or attic, you're gonna get a poltergeist.
That makes sense why a lot of pubs are haunted then, because a lot of them have basements for the cellar for the beer, and then a lot of them have because that's one of the stipulations apparently for a poltergeist haunting is they prefer places with an attic and a basement so they can bounce up and
which I think that's what it was doing. Them. It was running from the basement up to the attic, but also messing around by going in one room to the other. And
that's what some of the paranormal experts say. We're kind of not there yet, but we're not really experts. We're kind of amateurs, but we'll get there. I think
we're learning every time.
Yeah.
We go on. I've learned that the more you try, the least you get back. And I suppose it's like people, isn't it? If somebody tells you to do something, you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it.
I think you need to tune into it though. At the same time, like you need to take it seriously, but it does. Sometimes they can catch you. They'll catch you off guard.
Yeah, I think when we went to do the documentary in April, I feel like I opened myself up too much.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, because obviously, in January I was freaked out like you was, but I wasn't proper scared like you was. Like I heard it. I mean, I was there. I was present. I heard it and stuff, but it didn't scare me like it did with you. Like I've never seen you so scared before, and I thought, God, we're gonna have to be calling an ambulance because you're gonna be passing out.
A ghost run at me.
But this time when I went back and I went to do that solo, and I did it blindfolded, so that part of my sense was cut off.
Yeah, that bit was good with the you can hear the shuffling, but the torch moving, that was a big one.
And I thought, is my mind playing tricks on me? Am I hearing people move about because they're moving about above me? Because I knew you guys were up in the base room, but it was coming from the basement, and it felt like it was going around me. And I can't believe that I just didn't stop the solo investigation because I was scared. And after, I was shaking because it
Yeah,
was
seeing you.
so much. And I think from that moment on, I opened myself up even more, because when we went up to the attic and did the big group one, it said my name.
Yeah.
I do feel like once you've opened yourself up to the paranormal, you never fully close it. And I think each location you go to, I do think possibly they remember you from doing past investigations, especially if there's a portal at these places.
That's why you need to be careful.
You need to be careful. That's why I go in now wearing my crucifix, so I'm protected. I think that's what were with you when you got freaked out because you didn't have your crucifix.
Yeah.
That's why it came at you, because it knew it wouldn't get burnt by Christ.
By Christ. Repels you. Yeah, so for the future of the channel, what we're going to plan on doing is we're going to do some more podcasts, like we said, to fill in the gaps between investigations. We're looking at doing some like mini series like Nottingham and like around cities and things like that. And we're looking at doing some of the big ones, the big hitters like the Black Monk House and stuff like that.
Said for like the special ones, that will be like a special episode. Like that will be a standalone episode.
Yeah.
By itself.
But for the podcasts, I'm hoping that we'll be able to get some more like ghost stories and things to talk about, anything paranormal really. Obviously we're a ghost hunting team, so that's what we focus on, but you know, any kind of weird experiences you've had, we'd love to, you know, at least read them out and tell them and discuss them.
Well, I was just about to put in that we've even thinking about opening it up where we take people with us on the investigation, so like tours, so they get to be part of the G.O.A.T team.
Yeah. Because that's what I've always like seen G.O.A.T as, is something that it like takes people along to experience it.
Yeah.
Obviously we wanted to do it for ourselves, but after doing it and finding out that it, you know, there is something to it, now we want to shift it so we can give people the chance to, you know, open.
Yeah, because I was like really shocked, because obviously we're doing our masters at the moment, and we've had to come up with a project what we wanted to do, and I decided to do the paranormal, and I was really surprised at how many people are into it.
Everybody's into it.
Everybody's into it. Some really want to try it out, where I was like, oh no, they're too scared.
Younger people seem more into it than old people.
Yeah, and then some people like, no, it's a load of rubbish, I don't believe in it.
But they're the people that I want to take along.
to convince them that there is something.
Yeah, to just be like, you know, don't be so dismissive of it all.
Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of what I want to happen personally to make me believe even more is that I need to see a figure. I need to see something move by itself.
That's a good one. That's a big one for me as well.
Yeah, whether or not
seeing something move.
Because there's a bit in my documentary when I'm in Ern's room with Adam and we're doing the spirit box, and both Adam and Praise see it, they hear it, and I was looking at the footage, and I know nobody else agrees with me, but Adam's doesn't move, and you actually see a figure walk across. And I know it wasn't any of you guys as well, because you were all stood still while we were filming. And I know it wasn't Adam's shadow because he was stood still. And as it walked across, both him and Praise turned because they saw it at the corner of the eye and they heard it.
I need something more obvious than that. I need to be able to just see it, no doubt.
Yeah.
Black shadow figure. We know what they look like. People have captured them before. That's what needs to happen. Because if I capture it and you capture it,
Are you one of them?
it's not.
Are you one of them what wants to see it when it's
Oh
live?
no, not
Yeah.
after it happens. I don't want to see a black mass in front of me. My brother actually joked, then he's saying, "I think you're in the wrong profession, Paul." I don't think ghost hunting's for you. I was like, maybe it isn't. I got terrified at the first.
Not at that point. I don't think it helped that me and Aidan were making you worse as well. Because I was like, oh, do you remember what it said? It will mess with us. And then you've got Aidan what's saying, oh, it moved, she moved. Did you see it move? And you're like, no, just stop talking.
Yeah, I mean, I just need to be cautious about, when anything get connected to you. Something, malevolent. Because if that thing followed me back home, I want to, I'll follow you back home. Imagine. Well, you don't have stairs. You'll be all right. You live in a bungalow. They'll be running up and down my stairs.
Yeah, I feel like with them sort of places, it wouldn't follow your own because that's its home.
Yeah.
I think the only things what could possibly follow you home if you did a Ouija board and you conjured it up.
Like invited something in.
Well, what's strange is like we were talking about how we were in a different location, but it told us to go to that location in Pontefract. But there's an episode with paranormal investigators, Katrina and Nick, called Paranormal Lockdown UK. And a year before they went to Pontefract, they went to this house in America, and it's a case what Ed and Lorraine did as well. And it really affected Nick to the point where whatever was there followed him home. And it was doing stuff in his house. They could see the shadow figures, 3 a.m. every morning, a big bang. And he decided to do the spirit box session, and it told him to go to Pontefract. And they did go to Pontefract, and it seems like whether or not it's the same entity, it's the same evil demon, what haunts the American one and the English one, I don't know, but it seems that that was connected. And they went to Pontefract. And I think to an extent it did scare them, even though they've been doing it for 10 years or more. They know what they're going into. I think it did scare him, and to the point
a lot of the big, like Zach and out of Ghost Adventures, like you said, that they get terrified all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm surprised like Ghost Adventures haven't gone to Pontefract. They've gone to the Ram Inn. They've done that location.
Yeah.
They've done some in Scotland. They did some in Ireland. But I'm surprised they've never done like
that castle in Wales. Did you send me a picture of it?
Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah. What's it called?
Oh, I don't know. But I want to do a prison as well.
A prison.
Yeah, and I've been in touch like with this prison because I'm thinking of I would like to film maybe a drama in a prison. Still working on the idea there. But you can also do a paranormal investigation there as well.
On the side.
Yeah, well, because I emailed
at the same time.
Yeah, I emailed them. I said, "Oh, I'm thinking of filming a drama in a prison. Do you let people come in and film?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, you can film, but you can't film it in the day because we're open to the public. You would have to film from 5 p.m. for 3 hours." I was like, "Well, yeah, that'd be fine. We could film from 5 till 8, and then from 8 till the morning do the paranormal investigation."
Oh yeah. Okay, shall we wrap it up here?
Yeah.
All right. Yes. So what we're planning on doing in the future with our podcast is just telling like ghost stories, anything paranormal, really, anything that weird that's happened.
Thinking that maybe for the next episode we could talk about the equipment as well.
Yeah, we can go further into depth with that, like what's good, what's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Any new ideas to bring, for investigating you can think of, that'll be good as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Something new, a different angle. But yeah, so Yeah, we'll be trying to keep up the podcast weekly. This is the 14th of the 6th, 2022. Jacob and Michaela, G.O.A.T Paranormal team. If you have any stories, email us at Go Michaela.
It's ghost.operational.alert.team@gmail.com, and we're also on all social medias, so you can find us on Instagram as Operational Team, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, just shoot us a message, shoot us a line. Tell us your stories. We'll read them out. So thank you. Goodbye, and we'll see you next time.
Happy ghosting. Bye.